Alright, so highlighting your hair. First, I am using L'Oreal, the, what do you call it? All over color and highlights in only 30 minutes. It's the Color Expert Express or something like that. You get the base color and the highlighter. This is Biscotti. It's a dark blonde. I normally use Vanilla Icing, which is a dark ash blonde, but I picked up the wrong box. It's really not that much of a difference, except the ash blonde, you don't get as much of a red on the base color, and my hair picks up red really easily. So I did my base color last night. I usually do the color one night, and then I do the highlights the next day, because I'm lazy. And this is the base color that's come out. When you're going to highlight your hair, first read the instructions that come with your packet so you make sure you mix everything properly. You're going to need gloves, you'll need the little tools that come in your kit, and they stress doing an allergy test, but I've done this for so many years, I know I'm not allergic, it's not that big deal. Second thing you need to do is think about where you want your highlights to be. How do you normally wear your hair? If you wear your hair up a lot, you don't want to put a lot of highlights in the bottom and the back, because then as it grows out and you pull your hair up, you're going to see root there and it's going to look really unnatural. Unless you're into that sort of thing, and if unnatural is your thing, go for it. Natural is my thing. I want my highlights to look as natural as possible. So I always start with dry hair. When you're highlighting, you want your hair to be dry. And I just brush it out into its natural state. I do wear my hair up a lot or pulled back in a ponytail a lot, so I'm not going to do anything outside the top layers of my hair. I focus on getting some nice highlights that are just in the front area of my hair on both sides, and then I like to get 2 or 3 nice little streaks going in the back. The reason I like this tool is because it's got a nice tapered end, and I can pick up small sections of my hair with it and work with those tiny little sections. The other tool that comes in this particular kit is a fingertip brush that you can put on, and you can actually brush the color in, or you can pull out a highlight and brush the color on. And I will be using this fingertip. I used to use the little, kind of looks like a mascara wand brush, but since I've started putting this in the kit, I use that more because I have a little more control over it. Robot finger. Okay, I have mixed my color. Looks like this. I've got it sitting down in the drawer next to me. I am seated comfortably. I'm wearing something that I'm not worried about getting color on. That's something else too. Color stains, you cannot get the stain out, ever. It's just done. So make sure you're wearing something you don't mind getting messed up, old t-shirt, your yoga pants, whatever. And you get started. I try to follow where my natural highlights would fall. And if you think about that, the top of your head is what sees the most sun. I like to use really small sections of hair, like this, really small section. In fact, I'm going to section that out a little more because I don't like that big of a hunk. So like this much hair, and then I'll use my robot finger, tap some color onto the robot finger, and then just brush it into the hair. Another thing I like about this now is they've changed the color of the highlighter so it turns blue, and you can see it in your hair more easily if your hair is a lighter color. So see, now that looks like I've got a lot in there. I really do not. And so when when that starts to develop, it's just going to be developing on that small section of hair I showed you. I'm going to use my little mascara wand again to pull out a little hair, dip on some color, brush it on. I started coloring my hair when I was about 15. I was inspired by Duran Duran and Cyndi Lauper. And they used to have this wash-in color, and I can't remember what it was called, but back when Coke changed its formula to New Coke, around the same time, they used to have little stands in the mall, and you could trade in Coke points for merchandise. And some of the merchandise you could get was this hair color. and I got an orange one once. Alright, so I've done this first section. Now what I'm going to do is take my mascara wand and take a nice chunk of hair and pull it over, because this is hair I do not want to highlight. Your hair is going to touch your highlighted bits. It's not going to make that much of a difference. You will really not see highlights in any of the hair except the hair that you've worked on. Now, if you use a cap and you're pulling hair through the cap, sometimes the color seeps under the cap and you end up with great big patches of color. Ask me how I know that one. I did that with short hair and it was so horrible. I looked like a leopard in the back. I just had patches of blonde. Anyway, I started with semi-permanent color, and my senior year in high school I thought I would go black for Halloween. And I used a rinse because I thought it was semi-permanent color, so it wouldn't make any difference. But when you put a rinse on blonde hair, it's going to stay a little longer. And as it was washing out, it faded many different colors, from jet black to a nice moss green. And of course I had a television appearance when it was green, so forever I have, or my mother has, video of me giving an interview about beauty and fashion and style with green hair. It was March. I went along with it as though it were for St. Patrick's Day, and I wore a nice moss green shirt to the interview so my hair matched. That was fabulous. I haven't done it black since. So you see what I'm doing. I'm just picking out little strands, and then I pull a hunk over and I pick out little strands, and I'm going to do this all the way down to my ear, and then I'm going to flip it all over and work this side down to my ear. Then of course you have to let the color develop. Then you wash it out. Then you have highlights. It's all so exciting. I really do enjoy doing my hair. I find it's therapeutic and calming. And I feel like I'm making art out of my own head. And when you can make art out of your own head, why wouldn't you? And the thing I like about hair color is you can always change it. If you're in the mood to be a redhead, you can be a redhead for a while. And then you can be a brunette, and then you can be a blonde. You just have to take care of it. Make sure you're keeping your hair healthy with regular trims and good products. My stylist, Alexandra, who also does my color when I'm not dipping out of a box, sorry Alexandra, turned me on to Pureology, which is an amazing product. It's also ridiculously expensive. I also like Redken, the All Soft. It's got argan oil, I think that's what it's called. Argan, I don't know. Some kind of oil. It's supposed to keep your hair soft and shiny. So far it works. Alright, so this is what I've got. I have highlighted from the midsection of my scalp forward down to my ears, and I've worked in some extra color here for more of an ombre feel, or, well, ombre, however you say it. And so I'll be a little blonder just on the tips here at the corner. As far as the back goes, I don't know if you can see that. I've got just a few streaks that are going to go all the way down the back of my hair, and they'll blend in nicely. So basically, my highlights are going to show up wherever the sun would have kissed my tresses. And now I'm going to go let the color develop for about 30 minutes, and then I'll wash it out, dry it, and let you see. Alright, so as you can see, I have washed and conditioned and blown dry my hair. You can see I've got my highlights in now, and it's nothing radical, just a nice way to lighten and soften up around my face. And where I put it in on the ends, you can see it's a little lighter, but it blends nicely. And so when I pull my hair up, it's not going to be, again, a radical difference. You're not going to see a whole lot of root when it starts to grow out, and it will just be shimmery, shiny, and nice. So that is how to highlight your hair using this dual kit from L'Oreal.